Listen, Kerplunk, can you be nice this month? We have a readathon happening. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For Pause in a Book. I make bookish videos over here on my little corner of the internet, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. It is time to let Kerplunk choose my TBR, but there is going to be an extra level of chaos, an added level of craziness to this because it is the Amazing Readathon. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I am running the Amazing Readathon once again in June of 2024, and that means that it's time for chaos. Listen, this readathon is completely based upon chaos, and there will be prompts that are dropping every 3-ish days or so. There are 10 prompts, 30 days, you do the math. And the thing is that most people do not know what these prompts are. I, however, do know what the prompts are. What I don't know is what team I'm going to be on. So the Amazing Readathon has 5 different teams that are 5 different genres, and for each leg of the race, I will be using a spinner wheel to determine which team I'm on, which team my points will be going towards. And that means that I won't necessarily know which genre to pick up. So in today's video, every book that I choose will fit a city prompt, but it may not fit the prompt for the team that I'm on, essentially. That being said, if you are on that genre's team, you might want to jot it down. Now, May did not go well as far as my TBR, and mostly that was because I thought there were a lot more than 24 hours in a day. I don't know why I thought that. It's been the same my entire life. It's been the same since the beginning of existence. Regardless, I thought I was going to be able to get a lot more done in this month than I did. So technically I should be taking a punishment and pulling extra sticks. I'm not going to this month though, just because A, I don't know if I'm even gonna read these books, and B, I needed a little bit of grace. So that's what we're doing. I also will not take a punishment in July. We're gonna kind of reset and go from July onwards, but I just wanted to put that caveat out there. However, we are going to roll our D12 dice and see how many sticks we're going to be pulling. All right, we have a 5. That's not bad. It's not gonna focus, is it? Anyways, it's 5. If you're new to my channel or you have no idea how my TBRs go, I use Kerplunk to play TBR. We pull the sticks and there's a prompt associated with each one, and then I pick a book for it. I'll show you exactly how to play once we get over there. Before we do that though, let's talk about some required reads. These are 2 books that I will try to be putting on at my TBR, but like I said, we never know. The first one is for the Accidental Book Club, and that is the Accidental Book Club that Brittany and I started because we were buddy reading books on sprints, and it turned into a book club. So the Accidental Book Club, we're going to be reading An Unkindness of Ghost by River Solomon. This is by a queer author, so you'll get bonus points for that if you want to join us. These sprints will be on June 10th and 11th. It is a sci-fi for those of you on Team Sci-Fi. And then for Not Your Mom's Boozy Book Club, we will be reading Evocation by S.T. Gibson. This is about, I think, someone who sells his soul to the devil and then has to try to get it back, if I remember correctly. I love S.T. Gibson's writing. A Dowry of Blood was a top favorite of mine, and Education of Malice I read earlier this year. We actually read it for Boozy Book Club, and I also really, really loved it. So this one I am excited to get to as well. These sprints will be on June 29th, so the very last Saturday of the month. If you're interested in either one of these sprints will start on my channel on June 10th for An Unkindness of Ghost, and then we'll be on Brittany's channel for the next night, and then for Evocation, those will be on my channel as well. That should be the required reads for the month. Let's go figure out which books we're reading. All right, so here is the Kerplunk Tower, and as you can see, I have 3 different sticks. I have 3 different color cards. For this game, if the stick is green, I'm gonna pull a green card, and that book has to fit the prompt and also be set in the past. If it's orange, it has to be set in the present, and if it's yellow, it has to be set in the future. Probably for the second half of the year, I will be changing this up a little bit. I'm not really sure how, but for June, I will be keeping this. Mostly because I do need to read sci-fi this month, so that's good. These black cards right here I will pull if any of the marbles fall down, because that is not what we want. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, pull number 1, we're going to do orange. It does look red on camera, but I promise it's orange. All right, we've got a thriller. perfect for Team Spooky. For the prompt of a thriller set in the present, Kerplunk was like, yeah, let's start out with an easy one because at some point you will be on Team Spooky. So for that one, I am going to be reading Keep It in the Family by John Mars. I don't remember where I got this one, but it's sitting on my shelf and it's the only John Mars that I haven't read yet that I own. So that's what we're going with. This will fit a city prompt if you're on Team Spooky at some point in the readathon, but it'll also fit one of the higher sightseeing prompt points of exactly 5 words in the title. Keep it in the family. Also, John Mars is an LGBTQ+ author, so I'll get the bonus points for Team Spooky for that one. And this is about a young couple who is renovating their decrepit house into their dream home. And the wife becomes pregnant, and then she finds this like hidden message that says, I will save them from the attic. And that sounds terrifying. Following the clue, the couple make a gruesome discovery. Their home was once a real-life murder house with the evidence still concealed within the 4 walls. This sounds terrifying, it sounds spooky, it sounds atmospheric. I really love John Mars writing, so I'm really excited about this one. All right, let's do prompt number 2. Let's just do yellow. All right, we've got a Patreon pick. So I will put up a poll on my Patreon and they will get to decide. Then we got Patreon pick set in the future. So as of filming this, I have not set the poll up yet, so I don't know which one that won. But here it is, right here. I'm gonna make sure that all 4 of them fit city prompts. So this one will work at some point in the month. Hopefully I'm on Team Sci-Fi for that. All right, pick number 3. We'll go ahead and do a green one so that we have one of each one. I feel like we are getting a little too lucky today, like the marbles aren't even moving, and I probably just jinxed myself. A book you didn't purchase. For the book that you didn't purchase, set in the past, I'm going to be going with A Promise of Peridot by Kate Golden. This is the 2nd book in the Dawn of Onyx series, and this was actually gifted to me by Berkeley. They sent me a finished copy of it, so thank you so much to Berkeley. This came out in April. I read A Dawn of Onyx late March in preparation for this, and then promptly forgot that this existed. So I had a really good time with The Dawn of Onyx. It's kind of like there's a lot of banter in it. It's a little bit of a hate to love, or just like more annoyance to love. I'm excited to see how we go in the 2nd one. I've heard really good things about the series continuation. All right, now let's pick number 4. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to do this logically because there will be more teams that are in the past and the present because of general fiction, historical fiction, romance, and then fantasy, then sci-fi. So I think my last 2 will be orange and green. That's the logic there. So let's do another orange. All right, a Book of the Month book. Next we got Book of the Month pick that is set in the present. And I feel like the majority of my Book of the Month books are thrillers. So I wanted to kind of go in a different direction with that, only because I feel like when I'm on general fiction, that's going to be the hardest for me to find books because I don't read as much for that genre. I went to my contemporary shelves. This is kind of like speculative-ish, but it's a contemporary story, and that is The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. I actually just saw a vlog where Kayla from Books and Lala read this and loved it because it kind of has like that weird element to it, kind of like Cassandra in Reverse or Una Out of Order, and I loved Una Out of Order, so I'm hoping that this kind of has that same vibe to it. And this is about a woman who comes home to her flat and her husband greets her. Problem, she's not married. So she's got to try to figure this out. And then apparently like the husbands, plural, keep coming in from the attic. So like one leaves and then another one comes in. So it's a little bit of this like altered timeline here. We're still gonna call it a contemporary story. It's because it's like, it's lit fic at its heart. But apparently Michael, her husband, goes up to the attic to change a light bulb, and then when he comes back down, he's somebody else. And so she's got to figure this out, and like every time he goes up to the attic, it's a different person that comes back. I don't know. It sounds weird, but I'm going to call it lit fic. So if you wanted to read it, you could too. All right. And what is hopefully going to be our last poll. Here we go. And we have a green. All right, let's start a new series, shall we? Lastly, we have a first in a series, and it's set in the past. So I actually have 2 options that I could read for this, both fantasy romance. It's just kind of going to depend on A, when I'm in Team Fantasy, and B, which one I'm in the mood for. So the first one is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. Everyone's talking about this one right now. I think it has dragons at some point in the series. I don't know, but it has a lot of banter in it, and it has this aspect of like religion and the gods as characters, and essentially the gods wanted to like be with the humans, so they gave up their godhood or bonded to the humans so that when the human died, the god also died. And now we have the children of those, and they're terrible, but they are kind of like the rulers. And I think that our girl is gonna like end up with one of them. I don't really know. It's a 4-book series. I think the 4th one actually comes out this summer, so I'm behind, but I've heard nothing but good things about these. And then the other one that I'm also really interested in is Blood and Steel by Helen Scher. The 4th one just got announced and also comes out in June, so again, I'm very behind. And it takes place in the same world as Slaying the Shadow Prince, which, if you know, I loved this book, absolutely loved it. It's also a host favorite if you wanted to read it. Not my host favorite, it's Cassidy's host favorite. But this one takes place in the same world, not the same series, but the same world. And apparently, like, they correlate together somehow. I don't know. But this one is about a badass woman who, like, women are forbidden to wield blades, so she has trained in secret her entire life. Now racing against the clock, she fights to secure her place in the elite guild, charged with the protection of the 5 kingdoms. So we love a good stabby main character. Okay, so those are the books that I'm planning to read in June. Obviously, the spinner wheel is going to have other things to say. And, you know, it's gonna be chaos in June, and I think you should join us if you're at all interested. I will leave the announcement video for the Amazing Readathon right here if you want to go and check out all the information if you don't know what I'm talking about. Let me know a book that you are excited to read in June, and if you're not feeling chatty, put the pride flag emoji for Pride Month. That's all I have for you today. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!